All right, we now take you through to our interview for today. Now, the Springboks begin their end of year tour this weekend, and they have one of their toughest fixture lists for the tour. First up is the #1 ranked team in the world, which is Ireland. They will then take on France and then move on to Italy and wrap up the tour with England. To help us talk about this, we've roped in a News 24 senior reporter, Khanyiso Tshwaku, who is currently traveling across Europe with the Boks. Khanyiso, how I would love to be in your shoes right now. A good morning and welcome to Sports on Morning Live.
Good morning, Fusen. Good morning to the viewers.
Khanyiso, let's talk about this fixture list when we look at this end of year tour. I mean, I just mentioned now we're starting with the world's #1 in Ireland. We then go to France, Italy, and then England. We're coming across teams that really right now are in form. Should we be worried as the Springboks going into this end of year tour?
I wouldn't use the word worried because at the end of the day, the Boks go into this particular series on the back of 3 successive test match wins. They beat Argentina twice, they beat Australia. They won 5 of 6 of their rugby championship matches. But one needs to understand that Ireland is a very good side. They beat New Zealand 2-1, and they actually won the last 2 matches of that series to get to where they are. So the one would say concerned, but also on the other hand, that actually South Africa are a good side, but Ireland are playing at home. The Springboks haven't always done well in Ireland in the recent years. I mean, they've only won 2 of the past 7 games here in Dublin since 2004. So Ireland, over the years, have become a far more hardest side to beat when they play in Dublin. So it's going to be interesting to see how the Boks will go about just conquering their emotions more than anything else. Because when you think about it, the teams are evenly matched. Ireland do have experience in very crucial positions, like, for example, 9 and 10, they've got Jonathan Sexton and Conor Murray, whereas the Springboks have Jaden Hendrickse and Damian Williams. So there is experience that Ireland have in key positions, but the Boks will back themselves to do the job regardless of that.
And Khanyiso, when this team list came out, one thing that almost jumps at you is Cheston Colby and the position that he will be playing in, which is, bless you, which is that fullback position where, of course, he will be getting more time on the ball as well as space. What do you make of this change? I mean, even with the threats of a Johnny Sexton bombarding him with an avalanche of high balls.
Because the position is played extensively. He may not have played it extensively in international rugby, but it is a position he played in for the better part of his school career. I mean, Cheston Colby in 2013, when he was part of the South African 20 side, he was the outstanding fullback of the Under-20 World Cup. But because, I'll use the example at the Stormers, they needed to play a goal-kicking fullback when they had SP Murray at the time, so that necessitated a move for Cheston to go to wing. But it's not an entirely new position for him. Maybe new at international level. But I mean, look, the selection is also dictated by what Jacques Pinaber has at his disposal. I mean, if you have a fly off of Damian Williams' ability, he can look after himself in terms of every aspect from a playmaking position, and I think that'll definitely allow you to play a specialist fullback, someone who can just run, who can just do what's expected of a fullback from the 15 jersey from the back. So it's a horse for course selection, and I think it's one that may have caught Ireland slightly by surprise. But the quality of the Ireland side and the quality of the coaching staff and their department will mean that I expect that they will be ready for whatever Cheston brings to them.
And we do look forward to seeing how that will affect the team and how they play. But let's look at the areas where the Boks are probably doing really well and have the upper hand. Do we not have one of the best tight fives, which is where our front 4 ball will come from?
It is indeed. I think the most important part is the kind of variety that the Boks will find to unlock the Irish defense. I think the biggest criticism of the Springboks is not the inability to outmuscle teams and do so for a sustained period of time. It's finding different ways of unlocking defenses. I think Ireland, what Ireland did very well when they played New Zealand in the July internationals, was to be able to find different ways of unlocking New Zealand's defense, especially from mauls. I think if the Boks are able to find just have small subtleties when it comes to unlocking a defense, especially from a maul perspective, because sometimes it's not always difficult to, especially at the level, to not contest, but to defend South Africa's maul. But it's finding one or two small things that can actually help fracture a maul defense in the same way that Ireland were able to fracture in New Zealand's maul defense and create try-scoring opportunities.
Let's talk about Owen Farrell. I mean, he's a world-class attack coach. Without having a Khanyiso who does so well in running our defense, do you think that we have what it takes to deal with the Irish creativity that they bring to the game?
Look, the thing with backlines is that you need to cut the ball at the source. So a backline is not functional unless you snap the fluff in particular. So before Gary Ringrose and Robbie Henshaw actually get into the game in particular, they need to be shut down at the source. That is Jonathan Sexton. So if the Boks are able to shut down Jonathan Sexton, I mean, at 12, David Delende, I think will be able to take care of the backline, take care of himself. Jesse Creel can do a job. He just doesn't have Khanyiso's rugby gifts. It is what it is. But he does a job of reading defenses reasonably well. But I think it's just the sustained runs, the sustained different runs that Ireland will use. I think that will be probably the one question that you'll need to answer constantly as the game progresses.
Khanyiso, thank you so much for your time this morning, and we will be catching up with you here and there as you enjoy this end of year tour alongside the Springboks.
Thank you very much.
That was a Khanyiso Tshwaku, News 24 reporter, talking to us about the Springboks. They will, of course, be up against world #1 Irish side tomorrow. Thereafter, they will be taking on France, and then it's Italy, and then wrapping up the end of your tour against England. That's how we wrap up your sports news.